Hey there, curious minds, and welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving headfirst into an event that, well, it absolutely grabbed global headlines, and really for good reason. We're talking about the recent, very high-profile wedding of Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, a huge spectacle that unfolded in Venice, Italy. So, our mission for this depth dive, we're going to pore over the sources you've shared with us, pull out the most important insights, and really try to understand why this particular celebration got that kind of audacious title, the wedding of the century. As we were digging into the details, I was just struck by the sheer audacity of some of it. What about you? What did you find most compelling as we gathered all this?
Yeah, well, one thing that really jumps out right from the start is just the scale and the deliberate spectacle. You can see it in the sources. This wasn't just, a wedding. It felt engineered for maximum impact. It took place June 27th, 2025 on San Giorgio Maggiore Island in Venice. That location alone, it immediately signals something huge, right? A momentous occasion. It really serves as this fascinating case study in how extreme wealth can kind of curate a public narrative. It invites us, and you listening, to think about what actually goes into having a well-informed view on these huge, high-profile moments.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then. Starting with the main event, the ceremony itself. So Lauren Sanchez wore this custom corseted mermaid-style gown, Dolce & Gabbana lace. And picture this. It had this high neck, all Italian lace, and get this, over 180 covered buttons.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't just opulent. It felt like a very deliberate nod to maybe historical European bridal fashion. It kind of signals a subtle, maybe rebranding of image, a shift from, say, Silicon Valley minimalism to more of a global elite aesthetic.
That makes sense.
And Jeff, he kept it pretty classic, black tie tux, but famously, sporting those aviator glasses in the big photos. And during the ceremony, they actually had Matteo Bocelli performing Can't Help Falling in Love.
Oh, okay.
Which feels almost, classically romantic, especially maybe juxtaposed with Bezos' whole tech background.
Yeah.
What message do you think that specific song choice, or even just having that kind of live performance, was meant to send, beyond just sheer luxury,
Well, it's really notable how every single choice, from that specific lace gown you mentioned to Bocelli's Serenade, it all seems carefully engineered. It's like they're fusing traditional, almost aristocratic grandeur with modern celebrity spectacle.
Right.
This level of meticulous curation, it goes beyond just showing off wealth. It feels like a testament to the power of controlling the narrative, even for a private event. It suggests perhaps a strategic move, solidifying their public image not just as tech titans, but as figures with a kind of timeless cultural weight, almost like buying into a different kind of legacy.
Yeah, that's interesting. And speaking of how everyone always wonders who was there?
The guest list.
Well, the guest list was truly, out of this world. Over 200 A-list guests. We're talking Oprah Winfrey, Gayle King, Leonardo DiCaprio, the Kardashian Jenners, Kim, Khloe, Kris, and Kylie were all there.
Wow, quite the gathering.
Then you had sports legends like Tom Brady, Hollywood stars like Orlando Bloom and Usher, fashion icons like Karlie Kloss, and it didn't stop there. Other power couples too, like Bill Gates and Paula Hurd, even royalty like Queen Rania of Jordan.
Okay.
Plus major figures in luxury fashion, François-Henri Pinault, Diane von Furstenberg, Tommy Hilfiger. It really reads like a who's who of global influence.
Absolutely. And if you look at it in a broader context, that guest list isn't just a collection of famous names, is it?
No.
It's really a reflection of their vast networks, spanning entertainment, tech, fashion, philanthropy. This specific mix, it uniquely positions Bezos, maybe, in the global influence landscape. Perhaps it signifies a kind of strategic pivot in his public persona post-Amazon CEO role.
Possibly.
It definitely underscores the immense cultural weight they command.
Yeah.
It transforms a private celebration into this nexus of global celebrity and power.
Totally. But it wasn't just the wedding ceremony that made headlines. This was like a multi-day extravaganza.
Right. It wasn't just one day.
No. It kicked off with a welcome foam party, which just sounds wild.
For a party. Okay.
Then the black tie ceremony we talked about, and then it all wrapped up with a pajama-themed Dolce Notte party. Apparently that lasted until 4 a.m.
Wow, quite the stamina.
Right. And guests apparently walked away with goodie bags, filled with velvet slippers and Venetian treats. And the celebration itself included this lavish dessert buffet, fireworks.
The works?
Exactly. And the entertainment wasn't just Matteo Bocelli. Usher and DJ Cassidy were keeping the dance floor buzzing. Apparently, Jessica Alba was even spotlighted as a standout dancer. Just sounds like a nonstop party, like a totally curated dream.
Well, that progression you described, from a foam party to the formal ceremony and then a pajama party,
Yeah.
it does suggest an experience designed to blend, maybe, informality with extreme luxury,
Yeah.
offering varied, really memorable moments for those high-profile guests. However, as you mentioned, even yet dream events sometimes face real-world friction. What did our sources reveal about any local reactions? Or maybe controversies surrounding such a massive spectacle taking over part of Venice?
Yeah, that's a crucial point, isn't it? While it sounds incredibly fun for the guests, was there any sense of it being maybe overwhelming? Or perhaps viewed differently by the local community? What did the sources say?
This definitely raises an important point about perception. And yes, the sources did highlight some pre-wedding buzz. Specifically, there were mentions of no space for Bezos protests. These came from locals concerned about, well, Venice's exploitation due to these huge, large-scale private events.
Okay, right. Understandable.
Yet, the same sources also detailed the couple's efforts to, perhaps, mitigate this. They apparently used mostly local vendors, and even donated a significant sum, around $2 million it seems, toward the lagoon's environmental projects.
Ah, okay.
So it illustrates this complex sort of dual narrative that often surrounds such events. You have the grand spectacle on one side and the real-world impact and reception from the local community on the other. It shows how the same event can absolutely be viewed through very different lenses.
Right, different perspectives. And then, after all the confetti settled, came the aftermath, the public reactions. Lauren apparently quickly updated her social media to Lauren Sánchez Bezos. And she was even spotted carrying a clutch bag that literally read Mrs. Bezos.
A clear statement.
A very clear statement. But not everyone was showering praise, were they?
No, see that.
Katie Couric, for instance, she publicly called Lauren's lace dress tacky, compared it to something from the 1980s, I think.
Ouch. Public criticism.
Yeah. And there was also quite a bit of etiquette commentary buzzing around Kylie Jenner's pale blue gown. Some people suggested it looked too close to white for a wedding guest.
The old wedding guest dress code debate.
Exactly. It always comes up.
What's truly insightful here, though, is how quickly even a meticulously planned event like this can become subject to just widespread public scrutiny. And a really diverse interpretations.
Definitely.
That Mrs. Bezos clutch, as you said, it's a clear, confident signal of identity, of status.
Yeah.
Yet the criticisms, whether it's about specific fashion choices or perceived etiquette slip-ups, they illustrate how these high-visibility events just get picked apart by the media, by the public online. It really reminds us that even with immense wealth and super careful planning, controlling the narrative entirely is, well, it's basically impossible. Different perspectives will always emerge.
So wrapping this up then, what does this all mean for us, having taken this deep dive? It's pretty clear the Bezos-Sánchez wedding was this potent blend of extreme luxury, huge celebrity power, and very carefully curated spectacle. Absolutely. From that, totally unexpected welcome foam party right through to the pajama-themed Dolce Notte bash lasting until 4 a.m. Every detail felt amplified. We talked about Lauren Sanchez's custom Dolce & Gabbana gown, that corseted mermaid style, all that lace, the 180-plus buttons. Jeff Bezos and his classic tux and aviators. Matteo Bocelli singing Can't Help Falling in Love. But we also saw those really contrasting public reactions, from the very assertive Mrs. Bezos clutch to direct criticism from someone like Katie Couric about the dress and all that etiquette chatter around Kylie Jenner's gown. And importantly, we saw the local context too, those no space for Bezos protests, but also balanced by the couple using local vendors and that significant roughly $2 million donation for Venice's lagoon projects.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, this event wasn't just a marriage, was it? It was really a phenomenon. It sat right at the intersection of wealth, celebrity, and public perception, all playing out on a global stage. The branding of it as the wedding of the century, well, that wasn't just a random label. It feels like it was earned, in a way, through this unmatched display of opulence and influence. Even as it simultaneously faced scrutiny and those real local concerns we discussed, it really forces us, and you listening, to consider the different lenses these kinds of grand displays are viewed through. Is it a pure celebration of love? Is it a bold statement of power? Or is it also a reflection of community concerns about impact and maybe authenticity?
That's the core tension, isn't it?
Exactly. So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. What kind of legacy do these meticulously planned, incredibly high-visibility events truly leave behind? Beyond the initial headlines and all the lavish details we've just talked about, what lingers?